I mean, I'm gonna have to watch CJ after watching that video of him eating the world's saltiest taffy and the reaction out of that. Has he recovered from that experience yet? I don't know, but CJ is the guy for me on this team. When you're talking about Amphis, CJ is usually that guy that's first up. He's going to be in the air. He's going to get in the air a lot. A lot of times also, even if he's the one outside the box and they have two on the line, he'll be the one to do the reverse aerial and try and make the pinch off the backboard to allow the other two to then try and transition downfield and turn it into some sort of play back downfield, and then he'll pick up boost and come in as the third man. So he interchanges back and forth between that kind of first man and third man role really well.
I love giving CJ some gas. Supersonic.
My brain just went.
Listen, Renegades are impressive.
Why did my brain just go to Renegades?
The Renegades are a great team, but you know who's even better?
Yeah,
Amphis is even better, Supersonic. Let's talk about Amphis for a little bit. He's a good player.
Let's talk about Amphis. You're right. My brain just completely shut off and went to the wrong note page, and I'm looking at my notes from yesterday, and I'm gonna.
It's all good.
It's a good start for the day. We gotta get those kind of mistakes out of the way here early, and early lead here for Ground Zero. Yeah, I'm gonna you just
we all love some Renegades
today. I'm here to make you look good, so I'll take the L for you.
And so, no, Super. We all love Renegades, but what I love most about this matchup is the Ground Zero are looking good. On the other side for Tokyo, that was dangerous. Plenty of time in this series, right? It's all about taking it one game at a time. Things quickly got out of hand when they were playing Dig, and that is what scares me the most, is how do they respond to that kind of pressure? If they're down a goal, down 2 goals, what do we see? What is that dimension for Tokyo to hit?
Ask that question again. I had to respond to the Discord.
What are those kinds of dimensions that you need to see Tokyo hit if they're down a goal or 2? Because with Dig, it was very quickly getting out of hand, and their offense just was not able to really escape out of that hole.
Really, right now, I need to see them get a goal here early. If they get down 2-0, they get down, multiple goals, it's going to become a problem. Ideally, in one of the games, I think to get the W, and that maybe I'm pre-calling this one way early because it is 3 minutes left. I think they need that first goal. I think they need that opening goal in the game to kind of have that energy and give them the chance to then play that defensive battle and kind of lock down if they need to. But the tie comes through as we're talking about it. Maru going to get up and over the defender off of this touchdown from Realize backboard and able to just beat Torsauce out to the ball. And that's 1-1. So maybe they can pull this one through. Maybe I'm eating my words immediately.
Love that little fake at the end towards the backboard, but an immediate tie-up, and that's what Tokyo need to do in this series, right? Whether or not they have the lead, can they respond to that adversity? That was the biggest question against Dig. It did not work out. However, in this series, Ground Zero are going to be one of their tougher opponents this weekend if they can continue forward. So far, it's a tie game. We're only into game 1. It's going to be a long series, folks. Strap yourselves in. Get your predictions again in chat. I asked you in the start of the series, but I want to know once more, who you taking in this one? The desk, which was only 2 people, was pretty unanimous. We thought Ground Zero might have the upper hand, but so far, it's a tie game. We continue on, and I'm very, very impressed so far with Tokyo's resolve to get back into this one.
Yeah, we're going to be looking for, just the other side. I'm going to go back to it. I'm really looking for Realize to kind of have that pop off, too. He's that lead scorer for them. So the sooner we can see Realize heat up, I think the better the chance for Tokyo Verdy. If he can get hot and start getting some shots on net here in game 1 especially, so that it feels good coming out of this one, that could definitely bring them back into it and kind of change the flow here.
It certainly could. Only 2 minutes to go here in game 1. Still a 1-1 scoreline. If you're just joining us, this is the second series so far on the B stream. So plenty to go. And for both these teams currently sitting at 0-1, we won't be knocking anyone out in this matchup. But if you lose this, you drop down 0-2. Swiss stage means you only have 1 more life to give. And at that point, it's going to take a lot more than just a single goal. But for this game specifically, it's Torsauce who completely wipes the board and gets the lead right back for Ground Zero.
The speed there from Express to challenge 2 players playing high on the wall that are in position to make a play on that ball, and he makes the jump up and just does not respect the fact that either one of them are there. Makes the perfect touchdown. In comes the cleanup, and 2-1 now lead for Ground Zero. Those are some of the things that you're gonna see. That's the experience. There's zero hesitation. There was a little bit of hesitation on the other side for Tokyo Verdy as they both went up trying to decide which one of them was going to go for the ball, and that just opens up a 1v1 with a great pass down.
Under 90 seconds here. More pressure from Ground Zero and a great challenge from Tokyo to kill the play as it begins, but we'll see if things can formulate in that offensive third. So far, it's been a lot of backboard pressure. Oh, what the hell was that double tap from Express? The stabilization, and Amphis sets this all up, but Express takes it all the way.
What a job here from Express. Able to pick it up off the touch in the air, make the touch to the backboard, get the recovery, jump off, and use the flip to just slot it in underneath the crossbar. Disgusting shot there from Express. Not a chance anybody saw that one coming. No one was getting to that one.
That was disgusting.
Nice shot.
That's also
home.
disgusting. Oh, there you go. It's 4-1.
Verdy breaking down on the defensive rotation. Just nobody home. Everybody forward. Realizes that third one out and just did not get a good touch. Hits the sidewall, and that just falls right into play for Ground Zero. 4-1. They are making a run out of this, averaging a goal a minute at the moment. Still just under a minute left to play here in game number 1. So far, Ground Zero dominantly in control of this series.
Torsos is on a breakaway. There's literally no one around. He gets the center. Oh, ricochets around the back post, and a great save from Tokyo. But we were asking the question, what happens when they're in the hole? What happens when they need to score and be able to tie games up? Unfortunately, they give up 3 following goals, unanswered so far. With only 20 seconds to go, it looks like game 1 is primed for a Ground Zero win. And if that is the case, Tokyo need basically a 180 in their approach on offense.
Pass out, realize there, shot high, just above the crossbar. Would have been a nice one to have as a parting gift from game 1 to take with you into game 2, but this one going to be falling to an end here momentarily. 0 seconds. That one's going to touch down, and game 1 is over. Complexity, not the winner here. Ground Zero takes that one.
I mean, it was pretty clinical. It was clinical down the stretch. It was seemed relatively routine. Amphis able to set up, Express able to lock down a couple of open looks. He gets that double tap, which was ridiculous, and through, it just looked like Ground Zero had control of the game. Supersonic. It really came down to them dictating the pace, and for Tokyo Verdy, they were unable to kind of reciprocate that level of aggression and that level of consistency down the stretch. They just were unable to respond to the pressure.
It really feels like an issue more on the defensive end for Tokyo Verdy than it is on the offensive end. When they get down there, they have some opportunities. They created some shots. They score one. They're finding some passes to the team. But on the defensive side, the rotation and the urgency to get back to the line just isn't there. It really feels like they're playing expecting that second guy in the rotation to get that touch and pass it up downfield. And they're looking for pass plays and looking for ways to quickly transition. But they're overcommitting in that situation, trying to do that. So they're just leaving one-on-one situations, and Ground Zero is getting through them with pass plays. I think there is, I'll have to go back and look at the stats. I don't have it right now, but I think there is a pass or an assist on every single one of those goals. The Express goal off the backboard, a little bit different beast there, but the majority of those were infield pass plays to the net. You isolate a single defender, you get a pass, make it real awkward for them, and they're just slotting the ball where they need to. So good, clean, kind of cookie-cutter pass plays, getting the job done when they're able to get the defense scrambled.
Off the opening kickoff, it was Ground Zero. Immediately bring this one upfield, and Torsos looked like he was going to hit a quadruple tap to eventually stabilize and lead way to an opportunity, but Tokyo take it right back. And moving into this game, too, it's a dangerous game, too. You go up 2-0 if you're Ground Zero. These are interesting waters for Tokyo. I mean, they did not look great against Dig. They looked okay in the opening minute, but since then, it's been unanswered goals from Ground Zero. Tokyo need to find a way just to take the ball away and kind of establish some offense, right? Establish kind of that respect at midfield where Ground Zero have to reapproach their looks, whether it's pulling up from midfield from the sidewall or individually trying to win their 1v1s. So far, Ground Zero have been able to kind of execute and do what they want with the ball.
Push to the corner here from Torsos. He's going to find Express on the other side through traffic, and he's just going to slot it home. Look at this here, Spaceman. What control to just split the difference there. Gets 2-3 touches through the corner, and then the lift right in between. Splits the uprights to Express.
Those passes are so hard to stop, and the only way you're going to really be able to do so is if you can get very aggressive on the 50s, or more importantly, you can trust your teammates to make those reads as quickly as it happens. It's tough to do, but That's what's going to take for Tokyo to get themselves back in this game, let alone the series. It's a 1-0 lead again for Ground Zero. How long will this one last? Will it continue on, or can Tokyo tie up the game? 3 minutes still to play and some change. It's a boost grab in the back from Maru as Realize tries to meet the ball downfield towards the backboard for Express. This one's sent away and shoveled out to the corner as Tenhao will try to get it to his teammate. He will. Realize on the ground. The demo leads way. It's still on target. And that one will ricochet around as Express gets the save, but it was almost a tie game.
Here again, all 3 players back for Ground Zero. They've definitely got that urgency I was talking about, making sure that they always have somebody in the box. Though I don't know, putting all 3 players on that one post is ideal setup, but everybody's back and ready to make the save if they need it. Nice little touch there. It's going to drop it short, but on that recovery back, nobody able to follow it up, and that's going to allow Tokyo Verdy a little bit of time here in the midfield with the ball.
Great pass. Great challenge from Realize, cutting off the pass immediately and not giving Ground Zero any room to put that one towards the upper post. If it is, you're almost looking at a follow-up attempt, as Amphis will read this one as it dangerously falls in front of the net, but no worries for Ground Zero. Their defense has been very good at getting the ball back out to midfield. Now a couple of extra challenges for Maru as he extends upfield, and there's Realize to meet the challenge. Maru underneath. Realize with a slow. It won't be there for Tokyo early on, but I love the aggression we're seeing from Tokyo Verdy. Easily one of the better games they've played so far. Now they just need to convert on the other side.
I'm just not able to quite get anything going. Again, another throwaway ball here from Tokyo Verdy, which is just going to turn into a floating ball and a big whiff on the back end. Just a bunch of mistakes there. Tenhao throws the ball away rather than trying to control it when there's that many players back, and you just drop it to him, and then defense, there's one guy back, but he goes that high. That was a big misread on that backboard.
That was interesting. It's a 2-0 lead for Ground Zero. We're going to move on to the next play. I don't really know what happened. Anyway,
I don't know what happened either.
Here's a chance for Tokyo, but Amphis will cut it down as quickly as it starts. Back to the midfield we go with Amphis. Under 2 minutes to go. For Tokyo, you're going to be looking at one sustained drive to potentially get yourself on the board here, but we haven't seen a lot of passes to one another. Been playing through the corner, and finally some center chances. There, finally, Tenhao is able to put one towards the lower left post. Sneaks it back both behind the defenders, and Realize with a nice job setting it all up.
Yeah, Realize sets it up. I don't know that he was necessarily looking for a pass setup there, though. It almost felt like he was going for like a desperation last touch shot with no boost coming out of the corner there. But it's just enough to make the defense awkward. Corsos ends up assisting him a little bit. It gets that out into the open. Tenhao perfectly places it inside that post. They've got to find ways to do that. Get that ball off the back wall and across the box and create some awkward situations for Ground Zero's defense. Pass play again. Tenhao just high and off the beam. That one again off the post. They just can't seem to get that on target. 2 missed opportunities there in, just a couple seconds.
That was a tie game, but some accuracy issues might not lead it towards that point. About a minute to go. Threatening for the moment. Ground Zero looking to make it 3-1. Tokyo trying to escape downfield with the possession, but they just can't get out of their own side of the field. Amphis recovering nicely, but even with that, we continue to kill time, and that's Ground Zero's game, right? They get the lead, they put more pressure, they kill the time. It's what helped them in their series against Envy while they did drop it on Champions Field. You can't blame them for that result. 39 seconds to go. Can Tokyo bring this ball back? Unfortunately, even with those demos, they have to go play recovery on the other side.
One here, going to be flown back downfield. And starting to work through is Ground Zero. Again, the control and time of possession still going to Ground Zero. Almost slots it under, but someone's there this time. Tenhao makes the save. Defense looking a little bit better for Tokyo Verdy, other than, the play that will not be named. A lot better. Holding them to 2 looks way better than the 4-1 that we just watched in game number 1. There's definitely been improvements there. Now we need to start seeing improvements on the offensive end. We need to see them getting everybody involved in those pass plays. We saw them start getting those pass plays going, but the accuracy is just not there quite yet. Got to get those shots on target.
Yeah, game 2 was a lot more promising for Tokyo, and that is the takeaway. Again, this is a team that has not had a lot of international competition as of late, right? For a lot of teams coming into this event, this is their first time playing against other regions. So we can't blame them for the result. They've been putting up a fight in every game. They just have been running into better competition. That's esports. Sometimes you just run into better teams. And well, Ground Zero is also one of those better teams. So far, game 2 was much more cohesive across the board. Tokyo's defense withheld a lot of pressure from Ground Zero. Their offense, with aside from a couple of accuracy issues, it seemed that there were chances there for them to tie up that game, able to close the deal. So there are promising situations moving into game 3. There are things they can absolutely work on. But for Ground Zero, again, they look like once they get the lead, they're very good at kind of killing the game, running out the clock. And the same situation there in game 2, where now they're on series point. They win this, they're up 3-0, they win the series.
Yeah, so this is one where we're going to have to kind of see a lot of improvement out of Tokyo Verdy if they don't want to go down 0-3 here. They did make some improvements in the last one. So on the stat line, I mean, before this coming in, they gave up 11 shots in game 1. They cut that back to the average now being 9.5. So I'm not sure what the game 2 stat was exactly in the shots, but pulls that way back. They pushed their own number of shots conceded onto Ground Zero, giving up almost 7 now. So there was definitely some shift there in how many shots they're taking and how many shots that they're allowing to occur on their net. So improvements in the midfield help that a lot. Need to see that continue. Almost gets one in over the back behind Express on that back post, but can't quite get the shot on target.
Well, if Tokyo can start this comeback, it's going to have to happen in this game. That's a great shot. Fortunately, the accuracy, again, just not quite in their favor, but crazier things have happened, and LAN is about that. It's about the craziness. And for Tokyo, you got to take it one goal at a time, one possession at a time. When we needed them to have a sustained drive, they were able to get one goal out of it. Can they continue that? Slow roller. Nice fake. Maru gets the opening goal.
A little bit of a change-up on speed here with this shot. Realize up, puts it right on the money there on that infield pass, and Maru just hits the... I didn't even realize the direction. Yeah, we'll realize that twice. The angle at which he shot that, he was actually facing back towards his own net, hit that with a front flip shot, which caused that kind of awkward speed to come towards the net and threw Ground Zero off. So ridiculously, it doesn't look crazy, but that's a ridiculously kind of a hard shot to pull off on that angle.
Maybe they start getting a little bit more confident now. They can play upfield. They can find one another. This is the first lead they've had in the series so far. Can they keep it going? Yeah, we've seen crazier redemption stories. We've seen crazier turnarounds. It would be a reverse sweep if they can. Unfortunately, the net was wide open, so you're going to have a tie game. But that's one of those situations where you just ignore it, go to the next, and go right to kickoff.
Not wide open. Not wide. All 3 players from Ground Zero were there. They had 2 defenders. They were just playing on the other team. Ground Zero sends all 3 disrespectfully almost into the box of Tokyo Verdy, and they tie it up 1-1. A little bit of a solo play looking for the flip reset. Demo comes through, but the flip reset is off target as it was challenged early.
Still plenty of time for Tokyo. For Ground Zero, less of the conversation about them at this point. They just need to close out the series. They're already up 2-0. And let alone winning a series, you know, and getting yourself to 1-1 in the standings. But if you do it 3-0, it helps the head-to-head. It helps that eventual tiebreaker should you have to come to that. We'll see what Tokyo can do, though.
Maru was going to have a double touch there, but Corsos cut that off early. Another push from Ground Zero. Going to keep this battle going in the corner here. And this is one where I think that Tokyo Verdy has done fairly well. Other than that one where Torsos brought the ball through the corner in that last on the, I think it was in game 1 where he did that pass in between to Express. The corner battles have been going the way, I feel like, of Tokyo Verdy on their end. They do pretty well in that kind of hard to cover area. Nobody there to cover that area. The net, though, is Express is just going to pinch this one in underneath the bar.
Again, Amphis setting up for Express. How many times have we seen that duo combine for a goal? Amphis wins the transition. Yeah, well, at least twice in this series. And Express just cleans it up. Upper post looks good. It's a 2-1 lead. Ground Zero get it right back. Holding the reset for as long as possible, but Maru just can't get it quite down in time. There's towards the net. Saved away. And now what do you do if you're Tokyo?
You got to continue what you're doing. It's better than what we were seeing in game one. You got to continue to try to find little ways to perfect that, keep the ball moving downfield. I think the big issue for Tokyo Verdy is a lot of the times in these clears, as you just saw, they throw possession away. They end up doing these big hits and they just send them downfield rather than looking to maybe control the ball and then try and win a 50, get a good challenge on it and just try and drop it for the next person behind you, maybe pinch it out to the sidewall, pinch it forward, whatever needs to occur. But a lot of times they're just giving away possession to ground zero. And in a situation where you're down in the series, the last thing you want to do is give the ball to these guys.
You got about 90 seconds to potentially tie this one up. It's only a 1 goal that's necessary. For Tokyo, you must maintain possession. The more you give to ground zero, they're going to kill the clock. And these constant challenges at midfield, I mean, it's so frustrating. Tokyo just can't find anything. Another center, but Amphis will hold off on the play. Now a chance as Realize escapes downfield. Amphis recovers nicely, and there's a back pass. This thing could look interesting as Tokyo trying their best to set up something, try to find one another in the offensive third, but they just can't. And Amphis almost put this game away.
Huge save there from Realize. That would have been most likely all the wind out of the sail. That would have been one of those ones that just kind of kills the vibe. Shot coming. Is that one going to fall in? No. Tenhau's there to save it on the bottom side. This is getting ruthless. Ground zero is quite literally giving zero ground to Tokyo Verdy right now. They are just swarming this net, swarming the ball repeatedly over and over again. Pass down in the midfield for Amphis, but not enough room to get it up and over the player coming through giving the pass. So a lot of attack power right now to ground zero as they turn up the heat.
And Tokyo are trying to find one another, but I mean, between Torsos and the entirety of ground zero, they're giving no room. They're not allowing Tokyo any space. Express 1v2ing his way through the corner, grabs full boost. Doesn't really matter at this point. Just need 2 more seconds to kill the clock. Ground zero with a 1-goal lead. Hold on, it's still kept up. Hold on, that one's on target, but it's saved right on the goal line. That's going to be a 3-0 series win. Ground zero